Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rajul Gupta and today we are going to discuss the very first chapter of civics, that is understanding constitution or the Indian constitution. So hope you all already know the meaning of constitution. You might have done in 6th standard also. What is preamble, what are the different types of fundamental duties we have that is prescribed in the constitution. So let's begin with the chapter. So let's begin with the chapter. It's all about constitution, Indian constitution. See, as you all know that different countries are having the constitution of its own. So India is also having its own constitution. So let's begin. See, this is the image which is given in your book only. So in this particular image, it is all about the democracy which is there in our country. Democracy, you all know, it is a form of government where rulers are being chosen by the citizens. That means we choose our leaders, we choose representatives. So in this image, what is mentioned here is Suresh is the class monitor and he is a bully. Now you know who is a bully. Bully is a person who teases the other persons or other we can say classmates or the respective friends in the class. His classmates are not too fond of him. Mrs. Rao, the class teacher, has to leave the classroom on some urgent work. So the class teacher has to leave for some urgent work. She asked Suresh to mind the class. Suresh started picking on Anil. So Suresh started minding the class. Then what happened? When Anil, today I am going to report you to Mrs. Rao. But what have I done? He is asking what I have done. When Mrs. Rao returns to the class, what happens? Ma'am, while you were away, Anil kept talking loudly and disturbing the class. He would not listen to me. That means he is giving the or he is telling what he had done. But this is not the uh, thing that happened, that took place. That means he is telling lie. Who? The class monitor Suresh. Anil, you will have to stay back after school today and write, I will not disobey the class time monitor 100 times. Now teacher has given the punishment and he has to stay after school. Also he has to write down the sentence 100 times. But ma'am, I didn't do anything. He is saying that I have not done anything, but still ma'am is not listening to him. So this is what? This is, we can say, right to speech is not there, we can say. So this is again one of the right that we will be discussing in the further chapter. So why does a country need a constitution? The question arises. Or before that, I just wanted to tell you what is constitution, right? So what is constitution? Constitution is a set of rules, right, by which our country is being governed, right? Because the constitution places the government power in the hands of the citizens and it helps to build the society. So why does a country need constitution? It defines the nature of country's political system. It generates the degree of trust and coordination, because in constitution rights are mentioned, duties are there, schedules are there, right? It lays out certain important guidelines that govern decision making within the societies. Journal guidelines are also specified in the constitution, right? It lays down the rules that guard against the misuse of authority by our political leaders. So right, we will be discussing about the public interest litigation. You might have done, or if you have not done, let me tell you the public interest litigation. That means if your interest is being hurt, right? If rights are being hurt, or you have not been given the rights, then what happen? Or if you are being hurt by the government actions, then what will happen? You can go to the court. You have the right, you can go to the court and file a case against that particular person. So this is the right which we are having. Now what is the role of constitution? It provides certain rights like right to equality. People are considered equal in the eyes of law. All the citizens of the country are equal in the eyes of law. It ensures that a dominant group does not use its power against others, less powerful people. It contains rules that ensures that minorities are also not excluded from anything. Minorities are the people, those who will, we can say, which do not have the rights, or they are like backward classes, they are very poor people, and they cannot have the access to the basic facilities, we can say, basically Dalits and the depressed class people. So constitution are having the rules which ensures that minorities should not be excluded. That means majority people, minority people, all the citizens are having the equal rights, equal opportunities. Then it helps to exclude us against certain decisions that we might take that could have an adverse effect on the larger principles that the country believes in. So basically constitution protect us against the certain decisions we might take which could have a adverse effect on the larger principles. Then we'll talk about Indian constitution. So see, basically leaders took this initiative like Mahatma Gandhi ji, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, B.R. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee of Indian Constitution. So they started, and around 300 people who became the members of Constituent Assembly in 1946. They met periodically for the next 3 years to write Indian Constitution. Finally, the Constitution was drafted, which reflects a respect for maintaining diversity. That means Constitution was drafted, and it almost took 2 years 11 months. So it is the lengthiest constitution. Indian constitution is considered as the lengthiest constitution in the world, right? So these are the few leaders who have contributed a lot in the making of constitution: Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Bhimrao Ambedkar. Now constitution, the living document, it contains 395 articles, 12 schedules. It is the lengthiest constitution, just now I told you in the previous slide. It is a living document as it can adapt itself to the changing needs, wishes and aspirations of the people. So we can do the amendments also, we can do the changes also in the constitution. Like previously we were having 7 rights, but now we are having 6 rights in the constitution. It came into force on 26th January 1950, right? So this date you have to remember. Then who all made this? Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected its president, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee. Constitution was enacted and adopted on 26 November 1946. So it was adopted on 26 November 1949, but it was when, if question will come, when it came into force. So your answer would be 26 January 1950. This date is celebrated as a Republic Day also. Then another important concept is preamble. Now what is preamble? Preamble is the introductory part of the constitution, wherein all the things are specified: rights, duties, schedules, articles, all these are specified. It is like a content only, right? It basically examines the documents, philosophy and objectives, and it explains the objectives of the constitution. It declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and sets out the basic ideals of the Indian Republic. The word socialist, secular and unity and integrity of the nation were added to the preamble in 1946. That is after your independence by the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976. Now the next important topic is features of constitution. So first feature is federalism. See, what is federalism? We say that India is a federal country. How we say that India is a federal country? Because there is one or more level of government, right? 2 levels of government is there, and like central government is there. Central government will give its few powers to the state government and to the local government. So federalism means when there is a 2 or more levels of government and the powers are divided among the central government and its constituent units. Third one is the Panchayati Raj. That will come under local government only. So local government will have the Panchayati Raj and the municipal corporation. Constitution also contains the list that details the issues that each tier can make the laws on. That means these are known as tiers. So we have the 3 tiers like central government, state government and local government. So they have their own powers, they have their own rights, and they can make their decisions on their own. It specifies where each tier of government can get the money from the work that it does. And also it is mentioned that which particular state or the region will get how much and how much funds are required or how much money it requires, right? Then second feature is parliamentary form of government. It basically have the direct role, because people have the direct role in electing their representatives. As we have discussed in the democracy is a form of government where people have the right to choose their representatives. So we have the right to contest in elections, right? Different political parties are there. So constitution guarantees universal adult suffrage. Universal adult suffrage means we have the right to vote. People, those who have attained the age of 18 years, they have the right to vote. Also those who are below 18 years and they have the criminal background or they have any past criminal record, they are not allowed to do the vote. They cannot cast vote, right? So here is the image. You can see here how people are standing in a queue. Then third feature is separation of powers. Like three organs are there, right? Government has the three organs are there: legislative, executive and judiciary. So according to the constitution there are three organs of the government. Legislative means who make the law. Who will make the law? Elected representatives. Then another is second is executive. Executives are the people, those who run the government, implement the law, so they will execute the law. Third is judiciary. Judiciary will include the court, Supreme Court, High Court. They will make the judgment, right? They have the power and they will they will give the punishment to the person who has done the crime. And each organ has the power. They can check and they will ensure the balance of power between the three. Then next we have is the fourth, that is the fundamental rights. So fundamental rights, basically six fundamental rights are there. You have studied in 5th or 6th standard also. These rights protect the citizens against any arbitrary and absolute exercise of power. Constitution guarantees the rights of individuals against the state as well as other individuals. It also guarantees the right to the minorities against the majority. Like I told you, minorities are the people, those who do not have the access to the facilities or the opportunities, like backward class people or minorities or depressed class people, marginalized sections of the society, right? So basically fundamental rights, what are fundamental rights, if question can come? So you can write fundamental rights are essential human rights that are offered to every citizen irrespective of caste, race, creed, place of birth, religion or gender, and they are equal to freedom. These rights are essential for personal good and the society at large, right? Constitution has the policy of directive principles of state policy. These principles are in the state of directions. These are basically known as DPSP, directive principles of state policy. These are made in order to institute the laws and policies that helps to reduce the poverty of the masses. That means these are the principles which are which are established in order to establish the social and economical democracy through a welfare, right? Then we have secularism. Secularism, you might be knowing what is the meaning of secularism. India is a secular state. How do we say that, or why do we say that? Because in India people can choose its religion. Secularism means we have the right to choose any religion. We are not forced to we are not bound by the people, we are not bound by the government to choose only one religion. People have the right to choose any religion. There is no official state religion which citizens has to follow. So India is a secular state. Then we have independence of judiciary. Independence of judiciary means judiciary, we have done, it is one of the organ of the government, so it is independent body. How we can say that it is independent body? Because judiciary can take the judgment, can make the judgment. It provides or it punishes the people, those who have done the crime, and it is an independent body. It is having the powers, it is not answerable to any of the organ. That means whatever it has taken, whatever decisions it has made, those are considered final, right? It is not answerable to the, we can say, a legislature and the executive. So judiciary is an independent body. It has its own powers to resolve the conflict between the center and state, between the states. Independent judiciary is required. So Supreme Court is considered as a guardian of the constitution, who will solve the issues, or who will solve the conflicts, right? So fundamental rights, as I already told you, fundamental rights are the rights which are being given basically to protect the rights of the humans. They are essential for personal and common good. They are guaranteed under the constitution. Basically, there are 6 fundamental rights you might be knowing: right to freedom, right to equality, right against exploitation, right to constitutional remedies, and right to freedom, right? And cultural and educational rights last. So I hope it is clear. There are some of the questions and terms which I will be sharing. This you can prepare at your home as a test. These are some of the terms. Then these are some of the multiple choice questions. These are the fill in the blanks. Some of the answers I have written. So this is for your preparation as your exams will be approaching. These are some of the short answers. So thank you for watching. Hope you understand this chapter, and kindly like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. If you have any doubt and if you have any query regarding this chapter, you can message in the comment section. Thank you. Bye bye.